Hi guys, long time no see. Hope you guys are having a wonderful weekend. I just wanted to come on here and just talk about some changes that is happening in my life. Not really multiple changes, but like changes within a big change that I've made. All while I sip my coffee. But I don't know if you guys already knew or if you haven't known already. I'm just gonna reiterate this again. I did have a second job. Now, my second job was being a hostess at PF Chang's, and it was my first restaurant job I've ever had. The only other hospitality job I've ever had was at a hotel many years ago. But restaurant is a whole different experience. I like looking from the outside looking in. I knew it was like a hectic environment, very fast paced, very demanding. But working in a restaurant is like wow, you're really hit with reality. And I no longer work at my second job. I resigned, voluntarily resigned. And listen, it's been fun. It's been so real. It's been ultra real. I had a good year and like a few months of working there. And I decided, it's just not for me anymore. The whole reason why I decided to take a second job, particularly there, is because I just wanted something on the side. I just wanted, at the time, I had some bills to take care of. So that's the only reason why I took that job. But now that I don't, I kept it just for funsies, just see how long it will take before I, until it was just like too much for me. And you know I had to resign. And it's just, at this point in my life, I just have to do what's best for me. I know people are probably going to be like, oh my gosh, in this economy, but you know what, I value my mental health. I prioritize that because there were days where I just loathed going into that job. Now, you think being a hostess is an easy job? Don't be fooled, okay? Being a hostess is not an easy job at all. Yeah, you see hostess just standing there at this podium and telling people where they're gonna sit, but there's so much more to that than being a hostess. You have to make sure you don't double seat the servers. Make sure everything is like on the table before you seat like the guests. You have to make sure if they want a booth, there's one available. And it's a lot of things that go into it. Like when it comes to PF Chang's, we usually go in a rotation so that every server will have can serve customers. And a lot of, oh my gosh, like, do you have a booth? Have a booth? Have a booth? Like, we don't have a million booths up in this restaurant. You know what I mean? So there are some people who are willing to wait for a booth or willing to set up for a table, and like, I don't know, they're grouchy, entitled, entitledness a lot in that place. And like for me, in my anxiety, yeah, I had so many silent panic attacks working there. It's just not knowing what's gonna happen, the anticipation, not knowing how your shift is gonna go, not knowing what you're gonna be dealt with when it comes to the customers and the manager actually too. Oh, and don't get me started on the servers. Oh my God. God forbid you double seat them or triple seat them, whether the manager tells you or not, or whether, I don't know, whether or not some changes have come up to where you had to triple seat them. They will come for your head. And it's like, I'm only doing my job, and your job is to serve. My job is to seat, because I mean we have two managers. One manager is laid back. The other one, God forbid, there's people waiting to be sat. God forbid. You have to like make sure, you know. And then when it came to like the big parties, like the servers and stuff will like set up the tables for the party. Sometimes they would cancel. Sometimes, you know, it would be like more people than originally. Um, and then, you know, holidays, of course, like it gets crazy busy. There were many times where me and the other hostess had to bust tables, clean tables. Oh my God. Like, I'm sorry, but like, I don't like to look at leftover food. It's just like gross to me. But there are many times where me and the other hostesses had to do things outside of our job description, which is fine because the overall goal is to seat people and get them seated. But oh my God, I hated every moment of it. I really hated every moment of it. You know, and you know the complaints. You know, there were several times where there were like people coming up to the podium being like, "Hey, I want to pay for the bill," and I was like, "Well, you have to pay the server." And they're like, "Oh, well, where's the server?" I'd be like, "I don't know. Do I look a bounty hunter? Do I look like Amber Alert?" You have to wait for your server to come back around, and so you can, you know, pay. So there are times where like they wanted me to get their server and stuff like that. It's like, oh my God, you know what I mean? I don't know if years ago like customers would pay at the podium. I don't know, but yeah, don't give me your card. Don't give me like don't. I don't like to have other people's like objects in my possession. It makes me so uncomfortable. Like there were times where they would just like come to the podium and just like do their debit card, their credit card, and I'd be like, oh no. You have to pay your server. I'm not touching that. I don't want anything. I don't, you know what I mean? I don't want to have anything to do with your personal things. So it was a lot that, oh my God, it was a lot that gone into hostessing than you would even realize. Um, there are times where like the men would get mad at me because they choose to wait for the people to arrive. Let's say, you know, a man comes in, he's waiting for 3 other people. He'll be like, oh, I'll wait. So he's waiting, and so whoever comes in after that is not with his group, I would, you know, be like, okay, well, this guy and his group is going to this table for this server, so the next server in rotation will be this server. So I'm gonna see these people with this server. And he got mad at me because like, oh, like I was here first. Why did you seat them before me? He's like, sir, you're waiting. You say you were waiting for the rest of your group. Your table's ready, okay? Your table is ready, but you decided to wait for your group. So, you know, and it's just aggressiveness. I can't handle it. I can't handle aggressive people. Not only do I shut down, but I shut down before I, you know, start to speak my mind back. And yeah, just entitled people, you know, people who just don't know how to speak when they come in. I'll be like, hello, how many? And they'll just like stare at me and be like, and I'll be like, how many? Because although there's 2 of you here, I don't know if there's more coming. So how many? And they'll be like, 2. I'm like, oh my God, just say that, you know. And there were like customers that would come in all scared. Like, I'm like, what are you scared of? I don't know. But yeah, it wasn't good for my mental health. I'm already dealing with enough when it comes to Target. Target is enough for me. It's enough for me to handle. So to have a second job that I could keep, I could have just for extra income, but also it's not worth it to me because having to go from this job to a second job, and it's like, it's just, people do it a lot, and I'm going to look for another second job, but not anytime soon. I was just like thinking in the moment, like, just going in. I don't really need this job anymore. I didn't need it anymore. It wasn't worth me having so many like panic attacks, and the servers, they don't always bust your tables, and they try to figure out where to seat people. It's so nerve-wracking having people like at your podium, and you're looking at the computer trying to figure out where to seat them, and they're just staring at you like, it's so nerve-wracking because you're the first face that customers see. You're the first person that has interactions with the customers. And so yeah, and there'd be like parties of like people who like, oh, I want a booth, or they're so demanding, and it's like you would think this is like a 5-star restaurant in the Hamptons or something. Like, this is PF Chang's, people. Calm down. It's not that serious. Like, you're here to eat some bougie lo mein, which, I don't know, a small family-owned business Chinese place is so much better, honestly. I'd rather eat at a family-owned small business than a big chain like PF Chang's. My opinion, yeah. But yeah, like, the servers want to bust their tables, and they would be like, they're not being like accommodating to the guests. So it's a lot. Honestly, I'm shocked I lasted as long as I did working there. Especially being that it's a restaurant business. I didn't think I would last that long, but I lasted a really good bit, honestly. I don't know. It's just something I took it upon myself to do, and like I said, I'm gonna be looking for a second job, but I'm not, like, frantic about it. But yeah, I no longer work at PF Chang's, and then the manager was like so sad. I'm just like, you're being dramatic. Calm down. But yeah, there's a lot that goes into hostessing than just sitting there and having a computer tell you where to see people. It's like, it's a strategy. It's planning ahead. But I thought planning ahead was a good thing. Planning ahead is kind of not a good thing because people change their minds. Things come up to where you have to re-strategize and replan things, and you may be like, oh, well, this person's gonna have this table, and then they're gonna be like, oh, is there a booth? And I'm like, one second. And it just messes everything up. You know what I mean? Like, I worked Valentine's Day. It was super duper busy. Like, crazy busy. As I expected. But what I didn't expect was it to go on to the next day. The day after Valentine's Day was even more super duper uber busy. And I'm like, wait, this isn't even Valentine's Day. why is it so busy still? And there were a lot of people waiting. The list of reservations that we had haunts me. I wanted to cry so many times. Although it was like me and 3 other hostesses, but I mean, that really didn't make it any better because, although there were like plenty of servers, there was like so many reservations, so many walk-ins and stuff like that. So it was crazy. I want to start this so bad. See that camera? I want to start it so bad, but they didn't have any straws, and the straws that I had in here was like, like cracked. So that sucks. But I want to start so bad. Now, you would think I would have like quit Target first or whatever, but no, Target's like my main job. And although Target really tests my patience, like Target really makes me wanna, rethink whether I want to be a civilized person. It pays more, Oh, and let me just touch base on the scheduling at my second job at P.F. Chang's. Okay, so the whole reason why, the main reason why I decided to get a second job at P.F. Chang's is because I thought I would get more hours. I thought I would be scheduled more than, well, it varies. Sometimes I would get 3 days a week. Sometimes I get 4 days a week. Sometimes I would get like 1 day a week. It just like varied. Just like with my Target job, it varied. But for a while, it was consistently once a week or once every 2 weeks, and that just wasn't cutting for me. That was just not worth my time. The money I make there, I could easily make doing Uber Eats, which I still do, by the way. But I haven't done Uber Eats in like a few days because it's been raining 40 days and 40 nights. And I don't Uber in the rain, So that's another reason why I was like, well, I mean, this is just pointless. Because the whole reason why I got this job is because I wanted more hours, more days. And on top of that, like, at the time I had bills, like, whatever. So, it was just pointless to be scheduled once every 2 weeks, once every week. Like, so, yeah, I was just like, you know what? It was not worth my mental health. It wasn't worth my time. I'd rather just work a full 8 hours at Target and come home to my son. I'd rather just, try not to put so much on my plate that is unnecessary. I do want to get a second job. It's just, I'm not pressuring myself. I know in this economy, it's so bad. Prices are being raised astronomically high now and everything, but despite everything going on, you just have to do what's best for you in that moment and just re-strategize and just rethink everything and just know that better things are coming. I don't know what better is coming for me. I don't know, but I'm happy to still have a job, that's for sure. Even though I'm down one job, I'm happy to still have a job. It's all about perspective. Yeah, so I just wanted to come on here and just talk to you guys about, like, a change that's happened in my life, and if you guys have had any changes in your life that you would love to share, feel free to comment down below. I would love to read it. I really miss you guys. stay tuned for more shorts. I will not be doing videos like this often. Every now and then, maybe. But yeah, I'll be posting more shorts. I feel like it's best for me to just post little clips of my life and things, instead of like trying to figure out how to, do a whole video and make a whole video exciting. But also, if there's any other topics that you guys would want me to touch base on, I would not mind discussing those topics, doing a video on those topics. Anything you guys would like for me to, I don't know, like talk about, like relationships or family or anything else that you guys have in mind, I would not mind just doing videos on that. Because when it comes to things like that, I have a lot to say, believe it or not. But thank you guys for watching this video. Hope you guys took something from this video, and whether it's something that is going on in your life or whether you relate to my choice, I don't know. But anywho, thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe for more, and I'll see you guys next time.